You all have waited patiently for this interview, and now it's finally here. It's poor timing on my part, I know. EGX London ended well over 2 weeks ago, and I'm only just now getting around to posting this. Note to self, if you're going to interview somebody who's played Sonic Frontiers, don't wait until over 2 weeks after they played the game before you do his interview, let alone post it. Well, that's a lesson I've learned. Luckily, the one who I'm interviewing still has a fresh enough memory of their experience with the game, and so had plenty of things to say about it. And so in today's video, I am happy to introduce my first ever collaboration to this channel as I interview my fellow SonicTuber Unleash about Sonic Frontiers, based on his time with the game at EGX London. You all have sent in your questions, and they will be answered. If your question doesn't get asked in this video, it could be because it was a repeat of somebody else's question, so when theirs was answered, yours was answered also. Or, it may have been a question that Unleash simply couldn't answer. Still, we did our best to get around to all of them, and hopefully you enjoy what Unleash has to say. With all that said, let's get into the interview. Join me as I talk with Unleash about Sonic Frontiers. Hey, what's up, Blue Blurs? This is your Chief of the Blue Blurs, GamerBlake90, here to present you guys with something I promised you that I would do with this channel since 2 weeks ago. So, talk about being a little bit late, but the game is still a month away from releasing, so maybe not that late. But here it is, our video interview with my fellow SonicTuber who got some hands-on time with Sonic Frontiers at EGX London, and that is Lord Unleash.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Unleash here today, and yes, the ultimate collaboration since Endgame is right here. Let's go.
Endgame, Avengers Endgame?
Correct, sir.
Alright, so, you guys have asked your questions, and they shall be answered here. Although, I want to point out a couple things before we actually do get started. If your question doesn't come up here, it's likely because it was a repeat of another question, so in a way, you still got your answer. Everybody will have something to go around here. Or I may have possibly missed your question, which I find unlikely because I do tend to check through things a lot, so we should be fine here. But if I did in fact miss your question, I apologize, and we'll get to it in our next interview, which I'm pretty sure there will be. And with that, we're gonna go ahead and jump into our Sonic Frontiers interview with the man himself, the man of the hour, the werehog of the hour, whichever you want to go with, Unleash. So, here comes the first question. You ready?
Let's get ready to rumble.
Alright, first up, we got a question from just a guy on the internet. That's probably descriptive of all of us, but yeah. Here we go. His question is, what's his experience with tinkering with the physics? And both of you are freaking legends, always supplying us with the news, just wanted y'all to know that. Hey, we appreciate you, sir.
Yes, we very much do. Right, so then, in terms of what she tinkered with, when I first actually went to the first time I went to actually play with it, I actually had the leftover demo from someone else, so I played for like 5 minutes, so obviously didn't bother with the controls much best, so from what I played, I think that's probably the default controls, so honestly, default controls is actually pretty solid. And then obviously with my following playthrough, my second one, I think I tinkered it to change the turning speed, and then the, what's it called, the boosting speed, and then the max speed too, turned it all the way to full, and honestly, I don't think that's the way to go either, because I think Sonic's turning is way too fast, and then obviously when you have the power boost too, turning with the side makes it very, very difficult, so honestly, I think turning the max speed up and the acceleration to the top is honestly fine. Turning at default is actually pretty very good, and which is honestly amazing because we just came from forces, and yeah, when our turning in that game was absolutely horrendous.
So the sliders have more of an impact than I figured they would, huh?
Yep, correct. Honestly, I didn't actually think they would change much, but honestly, I think the speed and the acceleration didn't really change much, but I assume when the game goes on and you actually get leveled up and get the speed up, I think that's where you'll feel it a lot more, I reckon.
Next question from, let me see. Oh, Burning Red. Well, there's 4 questions in one here, just a heads up. I'll ask him one by one. What was his favorite part of the game?
Honestly, now this might be a surprising thing, but I think platforming, honestly. Because I actually thought I was going to enjoy combat the most, but honestly, to be honest with you, the platform is actually pretty solid in the open zone, especially that massive pyramid structure in the sky. I actually went to do that, that was actually really fun. And then obviously this little platforming sections later around that entire place, there's actually some pretty solid stuff there. Lots of sort of reaction-based gameplay. and then obviously faster reaction gameplay too. Just really good there. I wasn't expecting that too, but happy to say that was the most fun I had with the open zone.
You know, you said it yourself. I kind of figured your answer would be either the open zone exploration or the combat system, but the platforming was that captivating?
Yeah, honestly, even for the first island, like usually you expect it to be like very basic because we see that's 10 years of Sonic, colors, generations, not so much Lost World, but then Forces. So fairly easy games, honestly, but with Frontiers, though, while it is easy on the first island, the platforming, they don't treat you like a child, essentially. Whilst in some areas, yes, they do, but for example, that pyramid, well, Emerald in the Sky, I guess it's called, yeah, platform is pretty solid there.
Now I can't wait to play to that pyramid structure that they recently posted footage of.
Trust me, it's actually really fun, really fun.
And isn't it featured on the cover art too? I just realized.
Yeah, it is, yeah. It's exactly the same shape and everything.
Felt like a subtle tease in Sega. But anyway,
yeah.
Second part of the question. Is Frontiers better than Sonic Generations?
Honestly, it's hard to say right now, but right now I would say it's on the same level as Generations. While Cyberspace isn't as good as Generations stages, I think overall the quality is the same as Generations, so that's very good. And obviously the story is a lot better than Gens 2, so there's that.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Cyberspace because that's an upcoming question, but before we get to that one, we've got this other question. How good does Frontiers feel to play?
Really good. Really, really good. Except, in Cyberspace. Turning is a bit of a mission to do, not gonna lie. I thought it would be alright since the open zone controls, like the turning speed in the open zone is fine, but I don't know what happened in Cyberspace, man. I really don't know what happened there. It feels like Forces, but better than Forces. Like you can see in the gameplay, like in the chemical plant, for example, when Sonic's going around the turns, he just kind of runs into the wall a bit. That's not just the play being bad. That's just the game fighting against you. You try to turn, Sonic just turn completely, and I think this is where the drift needs to come in. For some reason, they made it like colors where it's in designated sections. I don't know why they did that, but yeah. But apart from that, 2D is actually pretty good for Cyberspace in terms of control. Though rolling's a bit finicky to pull off. And then, actually, the double jump is actually really good too. A lot better than Forces. Colors, I would say. And then Lost World, obviously, is a bit annoying in Lost World because you run colors from a ball, so you're prone to taking damage. But in Frontiers, I was about to say Forces there. But yeah, in Frontiers, double jump is really good. And then, but the jumping in general in 3D has always been a bit of a problem in boost games, so nothing really fault Frontiers there, but it's actually pretty alright. Then the boost is a bit slow. And then Sonic in general is just really slow in Cyberspace, so a bit of a disappointment there, but yeah, that's about it for the controlling in Cyberspace, honestly. And just pretty much, yeah.
Well, you pretty much answered the fourth question about your thoughts on Cyberspace right there. And as far as it feeling different from the open zone, you probably heard this already, but the intention was apparently to separate the open zone experience from the Cyberspace experience by making it, and I quote, more in line with the Sonic experience. Though from what I've seen, I feel like the statement's debatable, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Kishimoto said they wanted all players to be on the same level in Cyberspace, which I do get, but I think if he's gonna say that, then make the controls good. Like, come on, please. You had the controls in the open zone already good like that, so I don't know, just my thoughts on that.
Probably because the sliders have no effect in Cyberspace, and it does make me wonder about the impact of, the high-speed style or the action style, which tends to affect whether or not Sonic has unlimited boost, but Psyloop solved that problem. Next question from Zayed Murad. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's what we're gonna go with. Okay, from Zayed Murad, the question is, did Sonic jittering and moving weirdly when running on rough terrain bother you?
I don't remember noticing it that much because obviously in some gameplay we've seen, it happens in some specific sections, but from what I played, it didn't happen much, though. When going up some slopes, like rocks for example, some jagged terrain, I think I do remember happening a bit there, but it wasn't that noticeable to me. I was like, oh my god, why is that happening? It wasn't that jarring, to be honest with you.
And just how often did you come by rough terrain? I'm guessing that means things like those rocky cliffs that you can run along over Kronos Island, like what we saw from, what was it? The IGN gameplay feed?
Yeah, in the first area, there's some, after the bridge section actually, what's it called? After the bridge actually builds itself in, those first rock slopes, you can actually boost up those. I tried going up there, but I just slid back down again. But then there are some rocks in, obviously, the open zone, like basically just standard rocks, like balls and stuff like that. But Sonic can't run on them, but when you're boosting and you do that, it actually slows down a bit, so I found that a bit interesting.
Has anybody else here ever noticed the boost became progressively slower with each game?
I guess, actually, not from Colors to Generations.
Not from Colors and Generations, you said?
Yeah, from Colors to I think Generations is a bit faster than Colors, in my opinion.
Thinking about it, yeah, I think you might be right. It barely edges out the Colors boost. But then after that, I guess it kind of got slower.
Honestly, I don't think in Forces, to be honest with you. I've seen some stage mods with Generations in Forces, and it seems to be the same speed. But I think since in 2D, Forces boost is a bit slow there.
Dennis Telikov, their question is, a scale from 1 through 10 would be interesting to know. Thank you for this interview. 2 of my fave Sonic tubers. Ah, thanks, man. We're out here feeling the love.
Absolute legend. Absolute legend. Honestly, right now, I'd say 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for Frontiers right now.
8 out of 10? That's good to hear.
It is very good to hear, honestly. I was surprised by saying that myself.
You're surprised, and why is that?
Honestly, from what we've seen so far, I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, but I came away very happy, so I'm happy with that.
Like, the bulk of the interviews for it seem to have left behind positive impressions. I figured like 9 out of 10s or maybe even 10 out of 10s, so that might be pushing our luck.
Yeah, I don't think the game is a 10 out of 10 from what I've played so far, but definitely not a 7 out of 10 or less than that. I think 8 is probably where I stand right now on it, yeah.
Now, here comes another group of questions all in one, so here we go. These are coming in from, let's see, Go Frisuto? Is that how you pronounce his name? We're gonna call him Go, make it easier on ourselves. First question. Do you have to do anything while rail grinding?
Obviously, you have to boost to make you go faster, but no, not really. It's not like SA2 you have to speed up or stuff like that. There's obviously a set speed on it, like a minimum speed, but you can boost on it, and then it's kind of like the rail switches are kind of like Forces, where you have 2 options. It's either the bumpers, or you can use the left stick to switch between them. Apart from that, nothing else you can do on it.
Cool stuff, cool stuff. I think grinding was as best in Sonic Adventure 2.
Agreed.
And after that, it got progressively worse. Kinda like the boost, funnily enough. But anyway, next question. How does the drop dash work?
Oh yeah, the drop dash. So, the way to perform it is kind of inconvenient if you don't know how to do it, because you have to press the jump button, then you double jump, then after the double jump you have to press it again, and then it, obviously on the 3rd time you have to keep hold of it, and then it activates. So when you've learned it, it's not that bad, but a new person who's never played the game before, trying to work out how to drop dash is going to be very, very confusing.
Yeah, having to double jump to do the drop dash, that alone was easily the most confusing thing about it.
Yeah, especially with how many buttons that actually do things in Frontiers now compared to like Forces, where a lot of buttons do absolutely nothing, so it's understandable with Frontiers.
Third question. What is the difference between a Hermit and an Elder Coco?
Now, I'm pretty sure the Elder Coco, I think when you give it Cocos, it upgrades your ring count and then your speed. But when with the Hermit Coco, you give that the Caesar defense and the Red Caesar power, and that upgrades your power and defense.
So essentially both take on different roles in leveling up Sonic statistics, correct?
Essentially, yeah.
Gotcha. Alright, next up. Did you find any mini games besides fishing? Also, let me just say, Big the Cat goated!
Yes, Big the Chad, we should be saying right now.
Yes, Big the Chad!
Yes. But honestly, I don't find many mini games, honestly. I was kind of exploring a bit. Though on the topic of big fishing, it's actually pretty simple. It's essentially a better Forces QTE. You know in Forces where even if you miss the green circle, it still allows you actually to complete the QTE. It's basically like that, except if you don't get the green circle, you don't catch the fish. It's essentially like that, which is obviously a lot better.
Just for today, I'll do a quick little impression of Big, just as a treat.
Hell
Fishing
yeah.
in Sonic Frontier, that's going to be so much fun, Froggy.
Can we have a round of applause, even if you're just watching the video? Just a round of applause, please. That was honestly amazing. Amazing,
you know
honestly.
You know what's crazy? Big is a character I've never really cared for, yet I can pull off his voice apparently really well. I have no idea if I should feel proud of that or horrified.
Life works in mysterious ways.
Yeah. Alright, last question for this set right here, and then we can move on. How does the music transition between the piano, which I assume means for the open zone, and the combat music?
Essentially, the piano just fades out, and then you have the the boss music starts playing. There you go.
And from what little I've heard of it, it sounds very pulse-pounding.
Yes, especially the squid and the Asura. While the Asura is a bit garbage to fight, the music carries that boss fight, honestly. And even the ninja and the tower are pretty good. But the squid is the best one, trust me.
Oh my god, yeah, the squid. They first showed that off in that Sonic Central teaser, and I was like, what?
Starlight Carnival as a boss?
Here's our next question from SM Cheesy. In terms of the cyberspace stage, how would you place them compared to Forces, Colors, and Generations Unleashed?
They're better than Forces, yes. With Colors, it depends what stage you're talking about, because in Colors, obviously, we have the Act 1s, some Act 2s, and then some Act 6s, they're pretty good. But then, obviously, the filler acts, Act 3, 4, and 5. I'd say cyberspace is better than the 3, 4, and 5, but not reaching the level of the Act 1s just yet. I think they're nearly there, but not just yet. But then, obviously, not as good a Generations as Unleashed.
Yeah, obviously. Like, that's a really high standard to reach, you know?
Yeah, especially Unleashed. The GOAT!
I figured that was coming. Did you experience any bugs or noticeable graphics errors?
Not really graphical errors. This is to do with the rolling being a bit weird. Somehow Sonic just stand in the air if you don't manage to perform the roll properly. It's a bit weird. You see him falling, he's doing his standing pose, you know, the Forces one, and you just see him falling down. It looks really weird, but apart from that, nothing. No, not really, no.
Gotcha. And is the game near a polished state?
Well, I don't know if I should really critique Frontiers for this, but Poppin', that's still there. But right now, honestly, some animations are a bit jarring too, but I'll say the game's pretty polished right now, pretty polished.
The pop-in was one of the first things people noticed with the first wave of gameplay footage, and I figured that would improve, but evidently not.
Nope, it hasn't.
Well, I certainly hope they work on that for the final release. Anyway, next question coming in from Krynos Inso, I think that's how you say this name. Actually, I think you already answered this one, because they asked, I personally don't think they'll be bad, but how exactly are the cyberspace levels? You already answered that one, didn't you?
Yeah, though I didn't really comment on the level design of the cyberspace. Apart from the controls, cyberspace is actually pretty fun. It's fun. Honestly, this is coming from a person who kind of finds enjoyment in Forces stages, so take that for what you will, but even with the bad, I wouldn't say bad controls, but kind of the mixed controls of the cyberspace stages, they are pretty fun. They're fun. Like to speedrun, get the collectibles, they're still fun, don't get me wrong, but obviously, Ryu's level design, and I think I played one stage that was kind of original, the 2D city level, but apart from that, Ryu's level design, but still fun,
Alright, next up, how long does the blue boost last? As in the power boost.
Basically, if you mean by that when it gets taken away from you, basically until you get hit. But if you're talking about if it's like unlimited, you can use it forever when you're boosting with it. No, it essentially has the same timeline as the original boost, but obviously, if you get hit, then you lose it immediately.
Time limit for the power boost, only if you can solve that with the unlimited boost using Psyloop, right?
Yeah, wait. Yeah.
Second question. How does control feel? I'm guessing they mean control the boost, since they brought it up in the first question.
Open zone control, good, very good. Subspace control, bit alright, I suppose, just mixed. But then the boosting control, it's good. Turning can finally be done in a 360 degree movement, obviously, with the boost. I know, crazy to think about, and yeah. But power boost is ridiculously fast, but obviously has to be expected. And obviously with more speed there, you get less control, which I guess is kind of a disadvantage of having the power boost, I guess. Lose a bit of control for the speed, but hey, it's your decision, I guess.
Man, it looks so OP and yet so fun.
Yes, it does. Trust me, it's really fast, really fun. Trust me.
Oh yeah. I was like, the default move is a little bit slow even with the boosting, but that right there immediately solved my problem. Gives him incentive to pick up hundreds of rings if there's no life system anymore, now that I think about it.
Yeah, though, getting rings is a piece of cake with the saddle loop now, so bit of a downside there, but oh well.
Yeah. Alright, third question. Well, this isn't really a question, it's more a compliment. Your guys' channel is amazing. And to that we both say, thanks, dude.
You're amazing.
Now, coming in from Nuggets, we have another question. Hey, Unleash? Okay, I have a few questions. One, what was the best part of the demo? And what was the worst part from a demo?
Okay, I think I answered the first part earlier, but best part, obviously, platforming. Second part, you're gonna get used to this a lot, but that's not to say it's bad, but obviously, still my least favorite part of the game.
Yeah, I kind of figured that was coming. Not that I blame you. Second question.
Well, how could you tell?
Yeah, how could I tell? Oh, wait a minute. Anyway, second question. How much does the open zone take advantage of momentum?
Not much. Not much.
Oh, not much? I've been hearing conflicting reports on this. Some say there's momentum, others not so much.
Well, there's momentum there. The open zone doesn't really take that into account for its platforming, stuff like that. It's just like a basic boost game, essentially.
So it's a little bit more selective then.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the drop dash, you can actually gain momentum by going downhill. The rail has some momentum here and there, but it's not really a staple for the game, essentially.
Gotcha.
It's not really required for some platforming.
Alright, so for number 3, how would you describe Parker in the game, as in a Lost World mechanic?
Parkour is... I think it's kind of not really similar to Lost Worlds, because it's essentially just running, just boosting, just boosting up a slope and that's it. When Lost World, you have to actually jump towards the wall or run up against it, where in Frontiers, you just boost up a wall. It doesn't really feel like parkour. It's mostly this animation changes and that's it. And when he's jumping away from it, it's not like Lost World where he gets that massive boost away from it, that jump. He also like a regular jump away from it, you just essentially the same as just jumping from a flat surface, essentially just like that. Nothing too crazy, but it's not automated though. I will say it's not automated, so that's good.
You know what's kind of funny? I'd almost forgotten that was a thing in Frontiers. The Parker, I mean.
Same.
But to be honest, there's been a lot for us to keep up with. So, yo, it's Miggy. They have a question, and well, 3 questions more like. What was locked behind the skill tree?
Now, I didn't really see much of the skill tree, except when you got the side up, obviously, but I think there was 15 other, there's 15 moves in total so far. 3 are locked behind the story, and then there's 12 other ones, including the side up they can unlock. And no one other one is a Phantom Brush, which you've seen already.
I could have sworn there were 11 skills locked behind the skill tree, but there's 12 actually?
Yes, 12. Now, according to people from obviously interviews and stuff like that, and I think from Game Informer, they said there's a possibility there could be more as the game progresses, but obviously that's not confirmed right now. So, as it stands right now, 3 for story and then 12 for standard skill tree.
Gotcha. Alright, next question. Did you unlock the bounce? And if so, how did it feel?
I did not unlock the SA2 bounce, but there was just the regular bounce where you have to, the stomp 3 times one. There's that one, but it's not really much of anything, honestly. It's kind of there's no momentum involved with the stomp and the bounce one. It's kind of just like someone stomps and then he just jumps automatically for you. But then obviously on the third one, it does some damage to enemies, so that's pretty much it for that little bounce attack thing. But I did not unlock the SA2 bounce, so I can't really comment on that.
Alright, understood. And now, third question. Did you find any intriguing platforms or signs that could be involved in the story?
No, not really, no. From what I recall, no. No, I don't think so.
This one's coming in from Inner Instinct. First question, how was the combat?
Combat? Honestly, gonna get this right out of the way. I think it's actually better than the Werehog. Big surprise coming from a Sonic Unleash fan like me, but yeah, just had to get that out there right now. The combat is so satisfying. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, so satisfying. Especially that parry. That parry is amazing. So satisfying to pull off, and then the combat, while it is button mashy, it's button mashy if you let it be button mashy. You can actually do a lot of different things, dodging, and the parries I said earlier, and getting into perfect timing with the combos, dodging at the right times, obviously all of that. And then Sonic 2. Combat's really good. Very good.
Alrighty, coming in from Avon Agenda. Their question is, Good job! And Unleash gonna be in your video? You two are like the main Sonic news channels I go to. And questions. Are there any side quests that he found?
Big, I guess, is Big. I don't actually know. Big doesn't really count, does he? Yeah, I don't find any side quests. Though we have seen footage of it, so that's something.
Alright, now we have a bit of speculation here. What does he think is going to happen in the story? What do you think is going to happen in the story?
Well, I guess Sonic goes to free Amy, Tails, Knuckles, and then, honestly, he might free Eggman. I think Eggman is a possibility because obviously we saw in that one cutscenes in Cyberspace, obviously. So then maybe Eggman teams up with Sonic or something. I don't know. Maybe turns against him, obviously because it's Eggman. But I don't have too many theories on the game story right now because obviously they've been keeping it a bit of a mystery. So that's all I've got for right now. Obviously, a possible new form at the end of the game. That's possible, but yeah. Apart from that, yeah, nothing much.
Yeah, I've had a similar theory myself. Eggman may either join up with Sonic, though reluctantly, or he may just do things his own way.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's Eggman at this point, it's pretty hard to tell.
Alright, next question coming in from Samorial 2. They ask, what do you think could be done to improve the cyberspace levels?
Improve that control. That control needs improving, desperately. And then, make them longer. I know they're kind of special stages, but still, I kind of want them a bit longer. Then make Sonic faster. That's a desperate thing. And then I guess have original level design. That's something we all kind of want. And then apart from that, yeah, I think they're all right. Apart from that,
You know, it's kind of terrifying. I think I could actually think back to some special stage that aren't that longer than the cyberspace levels, and that's very telling. That'd be so hilarious. That'd be so hilarious. And do you feel that the open zone and story can carry the game even if cyberspace is meh? I bet your answer to this is yes, but I'm gonna let you tell me yourself.
It's not yes. It's most definitely yes. Hell yeah.
Next question coming in from Gordon. They ask, I think that the most important thing to ask is, was the game enjoyable and fun to play?
Need I say more after what all I've said right now? Definitely yes. Yeah, I got nothing more. Just yeah, honestly, yeah. It's a fun game, fun time.
Can we skip October, please? Can we skip October?
Yes, no, because I went the Frontiers prologue. I want that to happen at some point. We can't
Oh.
be skipping October just yet.
Yeah, no, yeah, good point. I've been talking so often about that I can't believe it slipped my mind.
I mean, clearly Sega watched about it too.
Alright, I don't know if you pronounce this name as Bonet or Bone because the word is split into two, but we'll just go with Bone, make it easier. So, their question is, okay, so I haven't really kept up with Sonic since Colors, and before that I had played Black Knight, the adventure games, and the main classics. How does it compare to those, gameplay, design, philosophy, and such?
Well, it's quite different to Black Knight. I think it's kind of similar to SA1, except there's combat in the hub worlds, and then obviously you have to actually get things to get into the actual action stages. And then classic games is completely different to those, obviously.
Any modders watching this, I have a suggestion. Mod a combat system into Adventure 1. That'd be so dope!
Ooh, there we go.
I think I just scared some people. Ethan Maloney, I think that's how you pronounce it. Ethan Maloney, they ask, what was most surprising about A, the open zone, and B, cyberspace?
For the open zone, how much platforming there actually is there, that surprised me a lot. And then for cyberspace, I was surprised by the fact that they'd have the balls to go and reuse level design from the past. There we go, there's my answer.
Yeah, I think that was nearly every Sonic fan that made the revelation.
Yeah, so surprising, so surprising.
And as you might have guessed, I have some videos where I have quite a bit to say about that chunk of the game. Go check that out if you want, but for now, let's keep it moving. This next question coming in from Simply Person. Okay, nice name choice. Hi Unleash, is there a lot to do in the open world, and are there any side stories?
How dare you? How dare you call it an open world? It's an open zone, it's a completely different thing. How? Okay, anyways.
Oh boy. Don't tell
She
Sega.
wanted to be after you, man. Can't believe you've done this, honestly. Right, anyways, what was the question again?
Is there a lot to do in the open world? Oh, excuse me, open zone. And are there any side stories?
Oh, Blake, you nearly sinned there. You nearly sinned.
No!
Oh, God.
We're all getting called out today.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, a lot to do in the open zone. You got the collecting stuff, combat, find the cyberspace stages, obviously. Then you got the side quests, doing all the different missions you can do. And, yeah, even finding the Cocos. Lots to do in the open zone. You'll find yourself spending many hours in there.
Question coming in from Manos. They ask, congratulations. Also the question, how were the bosses? How many bosses did you get to fight in the demo?
I fought Ninja, Power, Asura, and the Squid. So Ninja is pretty fun, pretty solid first boss for a Sonic game. Obviously it teaches you how to dodge, use the parry properly, and to get the combos in at the right time. Fun ninja boss like the ninja. Then the tower, obviously once again teaches you how to use the dodging and everything, but this time teaches you how to use the silo properly to take on to put damage onto enemies. And then yeah, fun boss overall. Though one nitpick I have with the tower boss is sometimes when homing attacking onto one of the layers of it, sometimes it just floats there for a bit before you actually hit it, which leaves you prone to get hit by that ring thing, which knocks Sonic back. I find that a bit annoying, but overall it was alright fun. And then for the Asura, oh god, Asura is very, very, very rough, as you've heard a lot from a lot of other people, but yeah, it's just not that great to fight. I think the worst part about it is the camera just fighting with you constantly, especially when it's side up the legs. The camera is going all over the place. It's very, very weird. And then we try to actually boost up the arm. You have to be. The camera is a bit annoying too because you have to face it in a specific direction so Sonic actually boosts up it properly. And sometimes it just doesn't do that. Found that a bit weird. And then obviously when you get knocked off, kind of have to see where you're gonna land. So that could just leave you prone to getting killed or just getting thrown off the edge of the island or something like that. Then dying. That's a bit annoying. But yeah, Asura isn't that great to fight. Not gonna lie. But then the Squid, I think it's a good boss fight, but I feel like they're running on the what's it called, his tail thing, whatever it is, that purple road, can drag on a bit too long. You know, kind of like Starlight Carnival's 3D sections, but yeah, Squid is pretty fun. Some quick reaction with the dodging as you get closer to the head, but obviously the little arena part where you actually fight it, I'd actually get to that part. But from what I've seen, it still looks pretty cool, I guess. A bit of nice change of pace from actually just simple Sonic boost game bosses where you just have to keep boosting into the boss's head and that's it. I like that this spice up in Frontiers.
Question coming in from Arthur Storino Braga. They ask, do you feel like running in the open zone was good?
It depends on your definition of good. If you want momentum in there, you're not really going to be that happy with it. But if you just want some fun gameplay and it actually feels good to run around, then yeah, you'll be happy with that. There's no momentum in the running though, I will say that.
That's fine as long as the gameplay is a solid experience. That's the most we can hope for.
Exactly.
Next question coming in from Neo. Neo Metal Sonic. No, just Neo. And they're asking, how was the overall collision? Was it somewhat like in Sonic 06 or no?
Honestly, I think it's kind of similar to 06 in a similar way, but except for the fact that Sonic actually has some sort of momentum where it actually actually slides up and actually falls off things. It's not like in Sonic 06 where you get stuck at the top of the loop and it stands there. Except in Subsys, because when I was trying to run that 2D Green Hill stage, that actually happened. That Sonic 06 where you just stand at the top of the loop and it stands there for some reason. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, in the open zone, Sonic kind of just collides with literally everything. If it's a little rock, he'll just interact with that rather than running smoothly over it. So it's not really the end of the world. Kinda annoying sometimes, but and it kind of looks a bit weird, obviously, from what we've seen from previous gameplay, such as the IGN one, but it's not really the biggest bother in the world, honestly.
Gotcha. Alright, next question coming in from Tharia Bowers, I guess that's how you say their name, and okay, so Tharia Bowser, I actually just said Bowser. I blame the Mario movie trailer!
Curse you, Jack Black!
Hey, now, easy there. Jack Black is goated. Come on.
Only kidding.
But anyway, Saria Bowers asks, was the open world fun to explore?
Well, I didn't do much of exploring, but from what I did, yeah, it's pretty fun.
Beast MD asks, what about the cyberspace physics is so bad? Is the turning too slow?
It's not that the turning is too slow. It's that it doesn't turn enough. It's kind of like in Forces where... Actually, okay, you know what? I guess it kind of just turn a bit slow. So you know in Forces where when you're boosting, you try to move the control stick all the way like a 90 degree to the left. And so I just slowly turn. That's basically how it is, but it's a bit faster in Frontiers. And yeah, I think for the jumping too, that's a bit weird to do in 3D. In 2D, jumping is really good. Probably the best 2D jumping we've had in quite a while. I like how floaty it is. Kind of like a bit like Colors, but actually, is it? I think it's similar to Colors, but he doesn't drop as much as he does in Colors. And then yeah, like I said earlier, there's Sonic's really slow in cyberspace. Don't really like that, and yeah, rolling is a bit finicky to pull off too. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the physics in cyberspace.
I like how it sounded like 3D is where everything shines in open zone, and 2D is the biggest draw to cyberspace, from what I'm hearing here.
Yeah. 2D isn't horrible. It's not horrible.
KOG, the king of games, asks, who is your favorite and least favorite female Sonic character?
You know what? Just because of the Sonic Twitter debate recently, Amy Rose. There you go. Hope you're happy. And then for my least favorite, Sally Acorn. I just pissed off a lot of people by saying that, but oh well.
Dare I ask why?
I just don't like. I don't know. I just don't like her. I just don't find her relationship with Sonic all that intriguing. Oh wait, no wait, hang on. Okay, Sally Acorn fans, you can take this one. Elise, Princess Elise of Soliana, the worst female character in the series. Probably the worst character in the series as a whole. Screw Elise. Kissing a dead corpse. What the hell is wrong with you? Can't believe you did that. Horrible.
I wasn't sure if I should think about bringing up Elise, but you pretty much spared me the trouble of figuring that out.
Can't believe. That's how forgettable she is. I nearly forgot about her. Like, my gosh.
Blixel asks, is there drifting in the game?
There is in the subsequent stages, but I didn't actually get to test it out because it's only in some designated sections, and in the series I played, there were no drifting sections there.
It'll probably relieve you to know this. We're almost done with the interview.
Hallelujah!
And Ryan Kelker asks, can you select what language you want and change the language at any time in setting, aka option menu in Sonic Frontiers?
Not from what I saw, no. Now that could be just because it's obviously not part of the demo version of the game. Because obviously we saw in Tokyo, and that you could change it different languages there. So I'm assuming you could actually change the language, but obviously not in the demo.
Yeah, I assume that would be a thing in the final release.
Yeah, same with the obviously the resolution and the frame rate and everything like that.
Milo ZCND asks, have you gotten used to the weird controls?
Well, for the open zone, very much the open zone does not control weirdly at all. Cyberspace, I mean, I've played Forces for 5 years, so I've gotten used to them a lot, so yeah, I got used to it, but still doesn't mean cyberspace should be excused for its control.
God, no. Alright, next question from Sonic Boy. They ask, was there any way to see Sonic's customization options?
Not from what I saw again, no.
The soap shoes! I need those in my life and I need them now.
Me too. I want the warehouse cleats on Sonic. Can you just imagine that? Please, that needs to happen. Warehouse cleats, we need that.
Let's not scare anybody now. But while bringing up the soap shoes, did you happen to know that they were in Sonic Forces?
Yes, I did.
Because I did not, and I'm still struggling to process that.
I think there are like 3 or 4 different variants of them as well.
3 or 4 different variants. Alright, you're actually getting me to want to play Forces now just to find the soap shoes. What in the world is going on here?
I would 100% in that game 3 times. I know that game inside and out. Nearly.
100% that game 3 times. Talk about commitment. I mean, I'm a committed Sonic fan too, but Forces?
Ugh, yeah, I do not blame you. I have a very sad, depressing life. Only kidding.
Next question coming in from John Leone. They ask, how closely can you match the controls to Sonic Adventure 1?
I mean, you can get the turning in there, obviously. There's no spin dash, we know that. And I mean, the drop dash kind of feels like the SC1 spin dash. You know, the rolling kind of feels like that. But for me, attack obviously, the air dash. There's no air dash in Frontiers, kind of. I mean, the air boost isn't really much of an air dash, really. And then, yeah, no momentum in the running, as we said earlier. So yeah. So I guess you can kind of get it to SA1, but not fully there.
Next question from Alex the Blue Hermit. They ask, does the power boost have a hitbox like what normal boost usually does? And by the way, the normal boost does not have a hitbox in Frontiers. I kind of assume it will because it's literally named power boost, but hey, it's still not confirmed, so I'd like to know if he tried that.
Well, you're wrong. It has no hitbox. No hitbox.
No hitbox for the power boost, huh?
Nope, not from what I saw.
It's definitely been nerfed in this game. Oh my goodness. I don't know why they even bother with
I mean,
the boost.
you can't drop dash into enemies, that does damage, so that's something, I guess.
Next question from Springtrap. We'll skip the first part because, again, about cyberspace. They ask, how were the puzzles? Were they fun or not fun?
I think I didn't do many puzzles. I think I did that square one, and that's really it. Yeah.
The square one, as in where you run around and turn all the squares blue?
Yeah, now, this might be a bit embarrassing to admit, but I actually failed on the first time because I went a bit too fast, so... Yeah, maybe it's not as hard or easy. Oh, no. I'm a failure. I'm a failure.
Am I going to have to call you out now?
No, please, no, please.
That's it, interview canceled, bye.
No! Anyways, yeah. The puzzles, the square one is... I mean, it goes by pretty quickly, so I guess that's kind of fun, I suppose, but, yeah, that's pretty much all I did, really. I kind of skipped the rest of the puzzles. Because, obviously, in the first area, you don't actually have to do any of the puzzles there. They're all optional, so that's pretty good. So the ability of the puzzles is that they actually unlock more of the maps, so you can see like, where the different slabs with Paul stuff are, different side quests and stuff, so I guess there's one point actually doing the puzzles, so that's pretty helpful. But yeah, I didn't do many of the puzzles, so I just saw them and just skipped over them.
Yeah, it definitely backs up their statement that Frontier meant to be the kind of game that is to be played how the heck we want to play it. The freedom of choice definitely adds to the quality of life for any video game.
Let's go, fighting for freedom.
So, Star Marine 108 asks, what was his most comfortable setting, like changing the slider for speed and or turning?
Basically, leaving the turning and the boosting turning on default, then put the acceleration and max speed to the max. Turning is actually pretty good on default, which makes it even more weird that it sucks in Cyberspace, but I won't talk about that too much since I've done that already.
Next question from Iggy Minius. They ask, do you think the game will stay interesting throughout its alleged 20 through 30 hour runtime?
I can't really say much on that because, honestly, I think they could just make the game a bit more harder, more complicated, but, I guess if they kind of just do that for the entire game, I guess that will keep it interesting, but obviously, we haven't seen much of Eris Island to actually judge on that, really. Though, from some of the Volcano Island screenshots, it does seem like they're actually going to make it more interesting, so maybe, maybe not. I can't really say much on that right now.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Kronos Island was like the shortest island to play through, whereas the others will be much longer than that. Although I personally thought the 20 to 30 hour runtime might have been a little exaggerated. I just can't imagine any game being that long.
Yeah, especially a Sonic game. Can you imagine how much budget we need to go into actually make those islands big enough to actually last for 20 to 30 hours? That'd be insane, man.
I would have loved that to be the case, but maybe later on. Although Frontiers is meant to be the title that defines Sonic games released within the next decade, and so I hope it does well.
Yes, turn that budget into Sonic Frontiers 2, and then we get even bigger islands or something like that.
You're making me have to choose between Frontiers 2 and Adventure 3 now, aren't you?
Maybe. Maybe Adventure 3 could be the Frontiers 2. There you go.
Alright, I'll accept that compromise. And with that, we have our final question, and then we're done.
Drumroll, please.
Final question coming in from Mr. Holmes. It is, did the speedometer go up when Sonic ran downhill? Running, that is.
No. No. And no. It did not. the running is kind of like Lost World, because in Lost World, when you press the run button, Sonic does one set speed, and it's kind of like that for Frontiers. Obviously, a bit more of a smooth transition compared to Lost World, but still, when Sonic hits that top speed for his running, he just says that top speed is going anywhere. It's a bit weird, honestly, not gonna lie, but hey, I guess that's the game design choice, so yeah.
Gotcha. I was hoping for a bit more of a positive outcome to this question. I would have liked to see, obviously, a little bit more in the way of momentum, but now it's been rebranded as the M word. We're not allowed to say it.
Oh no! They're coming after us. I can hear them knocking on my door. Oh no!
Unleash, you good, bro?
No. They killed my family.
Alright. I think we're having a little bit too much fun there. That was the last question, and so that officially concludes our Sonic Frontiers interview. And I've gotta say, a lot of what you've had to share with us, Unleash, has only served to make me anticipate the game more than I've already been, and I've already been anticipating the game a lot as it is. So much so that I have 2 copies pre-ordered.
Whoa! Gamerblick is balling right now. Let's go.
I mean, I gotta have the soap shoes. As many of them as I possibly can. Soap shoes are love. Soap shoes are life. Come on now.
Yes. But the Warehog, please. Come on, Warehog, please. Let's get it.
And the Warehog, we can make room for that too, of course. I mean, there is a combat system in Frontiers, and that's reminiscent of Unleashed for many, so they might as well throw in some Warehog aesthetics. They've already been referencing them a crap ton in recent releases, mobile games included. And I still think an Unleashed Ultimate is in the cards for anybody wondering.
Yes, we need it. Please, Sega, give it. Please, I'll do anything.
We'll do anything. Please, just name it and we'll do it. But I digress. That's all the questions, and so that wraps it up for our interview about Sonic Frontiers and Unleashed hands-on experience with it at EGX London. I hope you had a great time playing the game, which it sounds like you did. I only wish I could have played the demo myself, but I had to make the mistake of not being at Summer Game Fest. It is what it is, though. Thank you for being here, and for taking the time to let us know about everything you learned regarding the game. And people have said it's an awesome collab. I think we need to do a second part.
I very much agree.
Alright, so we'll see what we can do there, guys, but until then, we'll catch y'all next time. Until then, Blue Blurs for life. Peace out. Well, I'd say that interview went really well, didn't it? Hopefully you guys agree. The only thing I regret about it is how long it took for me to actually get it posted, and part of that was my fault. But what matters is, it's out there. And hopefully, you guys had fun with this interview. I know I did, and I can't wait to do something like this again sometime. Whether it's to interview a fellow SonicTuber, or whatever other surprises I've got for you guys. Thanks again to Unleash for joining me for this interview, and if you guys enjoy Sonic news-based content as much as I do, I recommend you go and give him a sub, as similar to me, he specializes in that kind of content, and the Sonic content in general. Thanks to him for joining me for this interview, and thanks to all of you for being as amazing as you are. You waited patiently for this interview, and it was high time to give you guys exactly what you deserved. If you'd like to see me collaborating with other SonicTubers, let me know your suggestions in the comments below, and I will see you all next time. If you enjoyed this video, drop me with likes and comments, you know how this goes, and feel free to sub and ring that bell for more. Peace out, I'll see y'all next time, take care, and don't forget, Blue Blurs for life.